Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Craft Central Designs, and today I have for you this adorable Dog Paw Christmas wreath. This one is dedicated to Rosie, my grandson's beagle, who happens to be so naughty and mischievous, but oh, so adorable and full of love. Welcome to all visiting my channel today. If you enjoy this tutorial, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. And let me show you how I created this Christmas dog paw wreath. Let's look at the items that we will need to create this wreath. But first, this is Rosie. She's very beautiful. She looks very innocent, but she's not. She's a very, very naughty girl. She's very beautiful, but behind those eyes, oh my gosh. She steals everyone's toothbrushes. She'll do anything to get your food. She's chewed up so many things in her 6 years of life, but I love her so much. Okay, so I have here a 12-inch evergreen wreath that I picked up at Michael's. I have 4 embroidery hoops. They're 4 inches in circumference, and I got those at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to be using the inside of them, the inner white ring there. And that's going to serve as part of the paw. And I have here some, I guess you would call them evergreen pipe cleaners. They're really awesome. I'm going to be wrapping the embroidery hoops with those. I believe I used a full pack, maybe a little bit more than a full pack. And again, I got those at Dollar Tree. I have here a little bit of greenery. I just always like to add a little something extra to any evergreen wreath that I do, just for added texture and color. And I picked that up at Michael's. And also as well, I picked up this ribbon. It's actually a Christmas ribbon in a dog theme, as you can see there. And this one is from craftoutlet.com. And it's just a dog theme ribbon. And I have here a candy cane ribbon. That's from Hobby Lobby. All of those are 2.5, two of them are 2.5 inches, and the dog theme wreath is 1.5 inches. Sorry about that. I have here a couple of dog paw cutouts. They do have some dog paw cutouts at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure where I got those. At some point in time, I believe that I got them on Amazon. And I also have some dog bones, which are 4 inches long, and the dog paw is 3 inches. I'm going to have you be using 2 dog paws and 3 dog bones. I picked up this narrow red tape. I also picked up white, but I'm going to be making the dog bones look like peppermint candies. And I have here some Snow White Waverly chalk paint, some scissors, wire cutters, and a hot glue gun. You'll also need a pipe cleaner for the bow. First thing we're going to do is just add some shaping to this wreath. So you're going to go ahead and go around the entire circumference of the wreath and just open up everything and make it look like a very nice symmetrical shape. I snipped off a bunch of those little pieces of that Christmas greenery. I'm just going to add those in here and there just for added texture and color. And those can just be simply hot glued in that evergreen. That they will adhere very well with hot glue. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is wrap the embroidery hoop. I'm going to take out the inside of all 4 of those, and I'm going to wrap it with these evergreen pipe cleaners. And this is a great method of creating the paws, the pads for the paws. I add just a little bit of hot glue, just hold it tight. But these are wired, so they just go on here like so easily. And they cover that embroidery hoop so well and so quickly. You guys, if you hear a little ticking going on in the background, I apologize for that. I'm not working in my usual space today, and I didn't quite notice that the ceiling fan was on, and I noticed that when I was editing that I could hear it clicking a little bit, but just try and ignore it. Sorry about that. I'm out of my element today. Okay, so we are going to attach all 4 of these to the wreath, and I'm going to attach them using the same pipe cleaners I wrapped around those embroidery hoops. I'm going to be attaching it right to the wreath frame, and this is done very easily. I'm showing you there. That heavy wire just going to be attached to there, one right next to the other. All 4 of them. I use a 1 pipe cleaner per hoop. And just wrap those around nice and secure, and that will hold them on very well. Now you'll notice on this wreath that I used a sign. Not necessary to use a sign, but it's kind of fun to put something pertaining to your dog on the sign. There are a lot of words that you can use. For me, Dear Santa, the humans did it, pretty much expresses what if Rosie could express herself, that's what she would say. She would blame us because she's very, very, very naughty, and she's always in trouble, as I mentioned. So I thought this was a little something cute to put on the wreath. That's very, very indicative of her. Okay, so we're going to be creating a very big, beautiful bow for this wreath in beautiful Christmas red. I'm going to be creating the base bow. First, it's around 11 inches. Yeah, around 11 inches, 11 to 12. As far as the length of the loops, I'm going to be using my fold over and pinch method. Always folding over because the ribbon has a right side and the underside should always be facing down and the right side should be facing up. That's why we pinch and fold it over. Twist and fold it over. I'm going to be creating this ribbon, or this bow, 3 loops on each side, or 6 loops all together. This is a beautiful, sturdy, beautiful cloth ribbon, and this is going to hold its shape very nicely in the outdoor elements. I'm using a pipe cleaner to wrap around the back and hold all of those loops together. If you would like to learn how to make bows like I do, I have multiple tutorials. I will put a couple of them in the description box. They are a slow, methodical tutorial to show you exactly how I make my wreaths. In this case, I'm making a triple ribbon bow. So next, I am going to be creating this bow out of those peppermint candy. I'm going to be creating it in the same way that I created the first base bow, folding it over, pinching it in the middle, twisting my ribbon so the right side is up, and I'm creating 3 loops on each side. Now I create these loops just a tiny bit smaller than I created the loops on the base. So those were around 11-12 inches. So this one, I would say it was maybe 10 inches. I'm going to twist it in the back just like I did on the first one. Pull the tails down, snip it off from the spool, and now I have layer number 2 of this triple ribbon bow. This bow is absolutely gorgeous on this wreath. The reds and whites with the mixed patterns are so pretty. And here we have that 1.5 inch Christmas ribbon that's actually in a dog theme with paws and peppermint candy canes. And I'm going to be creating another bow to place on the top. That's the top tier of this triple ribbon bow. I'm creating my loops a little bit smaller. I want to say around 8 inches. See how I twist and fold over my loops, catch it in the middle with my index finger and my thumb. Now I'm creating 3 loops on each side. Twist, fold it over. Watch the video, the tutorial on how to make a bow. You'll be so happy when you learn to make beautiful bows like this. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to create a single loop that's going to rest right on the 2 loops, or I'm sorry, the 3 loops on each side. So I have a little bit smaller loop. I want to say that was maybe 7 inches in length. And now I am going to create 1 single loop that goes right down the middle after I secure those loops that I just created. And now 1 single loop going right down the center. I'm going to fold it under, catch it with my thumb. See how I created that single loop? I'm doing it for you again. Catch it with my thumb. Squeeze it tight. Keep it secure. Reach around the back. Grab a pipe cleaner and pull it through nice and snug. And give it a twist in the back. Now we're going to cut off that tail to about the length of the other tail. That one's on top now. We're just going to feed it right through the center loop. Pull it through. And now your tails are married up on the bottom. Now what we're going to do now is connect all 3 of these bows to each other. See how pretty that is. Oh, the reds are beautiful in these ribbons. So I'm going to snip off the back of the pipe cleaners because I'm going to be pressing these all of these bows together. And I don't want the pipe cleaners to inhibit me, so I want a nice, snug application. So I'm going to take my base bow and place my candy cane bow on top of that. Match up the centers, press it really firmly, and then go behind and twist the pipe cleaners to attach those 2 together. Look how beautiful this bow is. And now we are going to put the top tier on. Oh my goodness. Love, love this bow. So match up the center, take the pipe cleaner from around back, feed it through the center loop, pull it really, really snug in the back. Make sure you're pressing all of those bow layers together very firmly, twist it in the back, and now you have a gorgeous bow for your Dog Paw Christmas wreath. Now I'm going to lay my bow down and lay out all of the tails of those bows. And what I'm going to do is I always do this when I have a triple ribbon or even a double a double bow with two bows. I take the base tails and I cut them. Then the next layer I cut a little bit shorter. So the candy cane, I'm cutting off the tail a little shorter. Now I'm going to do the dog paw print a little bit shorter. So this way you see all the layers of the tails. And that looks really pretty. Cut off the candy cane a little bit shorter. And then the last but not least, the top tier. And look how pretty that looks. And look how pretty this bow is. Good heavens, that is gorgeous. I love it. Okay, I was giving myself applause there for that bow. Did you see that? Oh my goodness. Okay. So now we're going to do the dog bones, and I want them to look like peppermint striped candy, I guess. Candy dog bones, I guess. Anyway, so I was thinking that, you know, you could use painter's tape or any kind of tape and just place the tape on the wood cutouts and then just do the painting. But I was kind of thinking I might save a step if I just use the red tape. So I don't know. I'm just trying it out. I've never done it this way before, but I'm going to give it a try. And for the dog paws, I believe the dog paws at Hobby Lobby are solid wood, but these dog paws have the holes in them, so I have to put something behind them. So I think I'm just going to use that dog-themed ribbon that I used for the base layer of the bow, and I'm just going to put that fabric ribbon behind those dog paws. Now you can see that I'm creating, after I painted and let them completely dry, the dog bones. I painted them white with Snow White Waverly chalk paint. Now what I'm going to do is put that tape across the dog bones, and I'm going to try to create a dog bone that looks like, as I mentioned, a candy, peppermint candy. And I think this looks really, really good. The thing is that when I did it, I was cutting the tape so that it folded over the sides. And then I ended up feeling that it was better for me just to trim it, all of the excess off right from the top edge. So there would be nothing folding over on the dog bones on the sides. Because I was concerned that the tape might start to lift just on the sides, not on the bone, the top of the bone itself, but just on the sides, because there wasn't much of the overhang, being that the bones are so thin. So initially when I did this, I was thinking I was going to just put that tape over the sides, as I mentioned. So you'll see me here trimming it out and cutting little slits so that I could get the tape to go around the curves of the dog bone. But just know that in the end, I just skip this step if you want to do it like this. Or you could paint it, either or. It's up to you. I'm cutting little slits right there so I could bend that tape over the sides of the bone. But it's really, like I said, I ended up just trimming everything off from the top edge so there was nothing folded over on the sides of the bone. It ended up working out better like that. Here I am doing that process where I was able to get the tape to look really, really nice on it around the curves of the bone, but it ended up, I just wasn't feeling it was going to stick. So I went around and just trimmed it up with my scissors. It was very easy to do. So for this dog paw, the dog paw was a little bit wider than the 2.5 inch ribbon. So I'm going to have to piece it right there on the far right side with another little piece of ribbon. But before I did that, I just used some Aleene's Techie glue, and I put it on the underside of the paw. After they're all finished and dried from painting, And then I'm just going to press it right onto that piece of ribbon that I cut. And this looks nice. It picks up on this exact same red of that beautiful ribbon on the base of the bow. So it was very easy just to piece that little piece there on the right side that didn't quite cover the dog paw. And I just, again, used alien tacky glue. Anytime I don't want to risk a glue mess from hot glue, I just would rather use Alien's tacky glue and then just wait for it to dry. Now these bones looked really, really cute. And if I had it to do over again, I would use the tape. I would just not try and bend the tape over the sides. I just cut it nice and clean all the way around the bone. Now you can see there that I'm just going to use a piece of that ribbon and place it underneath the dog paw. And just fill in that little spot that I wasn't able to reach with the 2.5-inch ribbon. Okay, now I decided to make this sign. This sign was, I believe, 6 inches, a 6-inch oval. I picked it up at Walmart. I painted it with Waverly Snow White chalk paint on the top, and then I painted a red rim around the edge of that oval. I'm going to be using these letters that I often use that I pick up on Amazon, and I'm going to be using a piece of masking tape to try and keep my letters somewhat, but I didn't actually care if they were perfect. Dear Santa, the humans did it. So when I'm going to place letters on anything, I always write it down first, and then I find the middle letters so I can try and balance out how it's going to look on the sign so it's even in the end. I love these letters, and I thought they were really nice for this purpose. So I'm going to peel my letters off and start applying them to the wood oval. Now, in the end, they're not absolutely perfect, and I kind of like it that way. I think it just looks kind of cute with this theme of this this dog paw wreath. So here we have it. Dear Santa, the humans did it. Super cute. Okay, now for the attachment, you can do it this way with a pipe cleaner, or you could just hot glue it. That would work as well. Very easy to adhere something to an evergreen, a faux evergreen wreath. They're just wonderful to adhere anything with hot glue to. So, but I put a pipe cleaner across there. Now you can just reach down through the evergreen, find the wreath wire or the wreath frame, and just attach it. Or, like I said, you can hot glue it. And if you're concerned about the hot glue and the outside elements, you can always put just a dab of the Alien's tacky glue along with it. Either or, it'll work fine. So I wanted to lay everything out on this wreath, and the way I'm putting it right here isn't actually the way I ended up doing it. I moved the big bow up there by the left embroidery hoop circle rather than lower. So you'll notice this. Look at the final wreath. I'll be showing you that exactly where I placed everything coming up here in a bit. But I'm just experimenting right now. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to do it. So I always do this when I do a wreath. I lay everything around, move it around this way and that way, just to be sure I have it just like I want it. But the colors are fabulous on this wreath. And here we have the wreath. I attached the sign. It's poking up a little bit into the center of the wreath. This gorgeous bow, a dog bone, at the top. Now, this is not exactly the finished product, so check it out, the finished product. I think I moved a dog bone or two around after I did this video clip. But you do you do it the way you want to do it. But I'm very picky. So here, now you can see the bow is a little higher, and I moved the bones around. But this is a very good look at the finished wreath. I hope you like this one. Yes, I moved the dog paws up on the top. See that? There's a couple of bones at the bottom, the sign poking up. I love this wreath. Dedicated to Rosie. Okay, if you like what you see on my channel, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, you all take care.